I'm Tom.
And I'm Denise. And we're...
Hopelessly Lost.
It was really Saeed's show this week, wasn't it?
It sure was. It opens right up with Saeed. He's walking up to a house with flowers. And he presents the flowers to the love of his life, Nadia. And then we find out that she's married to his brother. Ouch!
Ouch.
Yeah.
She's got kids.
Yeah, she sure does.
Living in a nice home. And, it's obviously still carries the torch for her, as well as her picture in his duffel bag.
In fact, she says to him at one point, if you still care about me, or if you care about me so much, why did you push me toward your brother? And he replies, for the last 12 years, I've tried to wash my hands of all the horrible things I've done. I can't be with you because I don't deserve you.
Aww.
He's romantic.
So sad.
Who'd have guessed?
Yeah, well, meanwhile, Saeed's brother is in trouble with a loan shark, who turns out to be Martin Keamy, the actor, who is the guy who played the mercenary who killed Alex Trousseau, Ben's daughter. Anyway, Saeed ends up killing the loan shark, even though he told his brother he was trying to get away from that life. He was trying to get away from his past, but they keep pulling him back.
In the island timeline, Keamy's blown up on the ship. That was never good enough for me. He deserved more than that. He deserved face-to-face killing, and he gets it. And it goes to show you that under any circumstances, under any timeline, Saeed is a stone-cold killer. He in fact, drops one of the best lines of the whole show when he says, apparently I'm evil.
Yeah. How many times have I said that about myself? Actually, none of the big questions that we've been hoping to be answered were answered this week, unlike the promos all week telling us questions will be answered. Thanks, ABC.
Not so. One of the big questions, we learned that the samurai dude, his name is Dogen, so there's one. He's tried to kill Saeed a number of times. He's drawn him and electrocuted him and stabbed him and all sorts of things. Well, he tries to do so again this time. And it leads to the best fight scene in the history of Lost. Maybe the history of television. They're rolling and tumbling and smashing each other, and it ends when Dogen's got him. He's got him on the floor, about to stab him in the neck with a knife, and then this baseball drops. And we're left thinking, what's with the baseball? We later learn that the baseball reminds Dogen of his son, who was killed, and is the reason that Dogen is there. Dogen's got a mission, and apparently his mission must involve Saeed being alive.
Yeah. Also, fun little note, how many stitches on a baseball, Tom?
108.
108. And as we know, 108 degrees from last week, all the numbers add up to 108, so all back to 108. All right. Dogen, then, when he doesn't kill Saeed, then sends Saeed out of the temple to go meet the fake Locke. He wants him to kill him. He says to Saeed, you said there is still good in your soul, then prove it. When Saeed meets fake Locke, he tells him, by the way, kill fake Locke before he says anything. Okay, kind of very important instructions.
Good policy.
So when Saeed meets fake Locke, Locke manages to say, hello, Saeed, before he can jab a dagger, right into his guts. Didn't work.
Nope.
Not dead. And it brings us the question, can you kill fake Locke?
How do you kill Smoke? So fake Locke, Smokey, whatever you want to call him, he later roars through the temple and kills just about everybody, with the exception of Ilana, Sun, Frank Lapidus the pilot, Ben, and Miles, who hide in the secret passageway that Ilana discovers. Or she doesn't discover, she knows it's there, which raises the question of how does Ilana know all this stuff?
Yeah.
She just sort of showed up this season and she knows all the secrets.
Yeah. Crazy. Meanwhile, Saeed kills Dogen. They have another little tussle. It's not much of one. And he kills his happy sidekick, the hippie guy, both in the pool. And so you're left to wonder, okay, it's in this special pool. Will those guys come back? Because the pool, may be what brought Saeed back. What powers does that pool really have? I don't know. And is the pool the reason for the temple being there in the first place?
Could be. Kate and Claire are also in this episode, and Claire is being held in this giant Silence of the Lambs pit.
It puts the lotion on its skin.
Kate leans over the pit and tells Claire that she's had Aaron all this time, and Claire does not seem pleased with this fact. And Kate says, I've come to rescue you, and Claire drops another of the creepiest lines, which is, I'm not the one who needs to be rescued. ultimately, when Smokey comes roaring through and killing everybody, Claire and Kate survive by hiding in that pit.
Yeah. By the way, Tom, it turns out Miles thinks that Feral Claire is kind of hot too.
Yes, he does.
So,
I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
So in the end, Fake Locke is outside the temple with all of his followers, the people who survived the attack. Claire and Saeed walk out to join him, and presumably they're both on his team now. Kate follows out, and she's freaked out by all the dead people. And Locke gives her this strange look that is very meaningful, but you're not quite sure what that meaning is. There's another episode coming that's going to explain that.
Yeah, sometime. But I'm also left to wonder, where's Sawyer? Didn't he recruit Sawyer a couple of episodes ago? Where's he hanging out now?
In a cave someplace, who knows?
Yeah.
After Saeed kills the loan shark, he hears this banging noise, and he goes to investigate, and he opens this meat locker, and who's in there? Jin!
Who knew?
Yes. So what's Jin's connection to that loan shark? That's a question raised that we're not clear on.
One of our friends in the Twitterverse turned us on to this hilarious YouTube video. It's called Jack's Not Crying, and it's a compilation of the many scenes where Jack is tearful, misty, crying, blubbering. He is our most sensitive hero. And it's set to the song I'm Not Crying by Flight of the Conchords, and I want you to take a look.
I'm not crying, it's just been raining on my face. And if you think you see some tear tracks down my cheek, please don't tell my mates I'm not crying. No, I'm not crying.
My other tip is watch at 8 o'clock on Tuesdays. They play last week's episode with the little pop-up videos on the bottom. It's very illuminating. That about does it for this week.
Follow Jack at Jack Gax on Twitter and become a fan of Jack Jacksonville on Facebook.
Until next week,
we're hopelessly lost.
And I'm on a horse.